Hello everyone, my name is Aarti and you're watching HW News. We are barely 9 days in the new year and yet we have no respite from the COVID-19. On the contrary, the coronavirus cases in the country are rapidly increasing. The Health Ministry says the new Omicron variant of COVID-19 could be fueling the high number of infections in India. Today, India reported over 1.5 lakh daily infections for the second consecutive day, taking the active caseload to more than 5 lakh in the country. According to the Union Ministry of Health, the country recorded 327 deaths in the last 24 hours, ending Sunday 9 am. The daily positivity rate also stood at 10.21%. The Omicron tally in India has now reached more than 3,000, with Maharashtra continuing to top the count with more than 1,000 cases. Experts believe the variant is less severe, although it is highly transmissible, which also explains how the cases have zoomed past 1 lakh in a matter of a week. So several state governments have imposed restrictions, bringing back the fears of another lockdown. But today we are going to talk about sheer numbers. What can we expect looking at rapidly increasing coronavirus cases in the country? And to discuss that, we are joined by Professor Manindra Agrawal. He is a professor at IIT Kanpur and is working on a program called Sutra, a mathematical model on COVID-19 cases in India. So let us talk to him. Let us ask him what exactly are we looking at when we talk about the COVID-19 cases surge in India when it comes to Omicron. Welcome, sir. Welcome to HW News. My first question to you is, India is reporting more than 1.5 lakh cases for the last 2 days. The COVID cases are rising, Omicron cases tally is rising. India has recorded more than 3,000 cases of Omicron. And based on the mathematical model that you are working on, what do you think, has the third wave arrived in India or it is yet to arrive?
Third wave has very much arrived in India. And in fact, out of these 1.5 lakh cases, my guess would be 1.4 lakh at least are Omicron cases. So this will, we are well into the third wave and we will hit the peak by the end of this year, according to our estimate, India-wise. And then the numbers will start coming down.
Okay, because I think the government is yet not talking about whether it is a third wave or not. I mean, they are saying that the numbers are rising. We have seen in just past 1 week, the cases have risen exponentially, but the government is not putting a word to it. They are not saying it is a third wave. So, I mean, in terms of numbers, if we compare it to the second wave, do you think that third wave has already arrived or the cases will go on?
Yeah, I think third wave has arrived. The wave is characterized by a sharp rise and then eventually a fall. This is exactly what happened during the first wave, during the second wave, and now we are seeing this is surely the third wave.
All right. When the second wave peaked in the month of April and May 2021, we saw there were 4 lakh cases daily that were coming out in India. What do you think during this peak of the third wave, how many number of cases are we looking at?
So that is a little difficult for me to say at this moment because our model works on data. And the data for India, in terms of the number of days during which we have seen a number cases going up, that is not sufficient as of now. We'll have to wait for another few days for the model to capture it precisely enough. And then we can make an accurate estimation of at what level do we see the peak. However, a preliminary guess is that this peak may well be higher than the second wave peak. And as I mentioned, it will arrive sometime end of this month.
End of this month and into February. I mean, February onwards, we also have elections starting. Yes.
Well, the numbers will start dropping sharply, and by end of February, beginning March, the numbers will become very small.
Yes, as you rightly said, that the numbers are rising, and this time around, that the numbers could be more than what it was in the second wave. In fact, Dr. V.K. Paul had also estimated, and he had said that the R value this time around is more than what it was during the peak in the second wave. So I think the peak may also as well see more number of cases than what we saw during the peak of second wave. What would you
Right.
say?
Yes, I agree with that. There is a higher R value for the simple reason that Omicron is bypassing immunity given by either vaccines or previous mutants. And therefore, a larger fraction of people are available to Omicron to infect, which is called a susceptible population. And because of that, the R value has gone up quite substantially.
Hmm. Two metro cities, sir, Mumbai and Delhi, they are recording the highest number of cases when it comes to COVID-19 cases this time around. What do you think will be the situation for Mumbai as well as Delhi?
So both the cities have had an early start in the rise, and they are well into their rise. And my expectation is that around middle of this month, both the cities will have their peak,
Hmm.
and then they will, just as they have risen very sharply, they will also drop very sharply. And
Hmm.
by the end of this month, the cases there will be quite low.
Hmm. What are the numbers that we are looking at in these two states, sir? I mean, in terms of numbers, what are the numbers that we are looking at in Mumbai if the COVID-19 cases peaks, if this wave peaks, and what are the numbers that we are looking for in Delhi?
So Mumbai, my guess would be between 25 to 30,000 cases per day at the peak. And for Delhi, the guess would be a little imprecise because, like I mentioned about India, it is
Hmm.
also partly true about Delhi. The data is a little less. A couple of days data more will make me more confident. But
Hmm.
Delhi, I think, will peak at a higher level
Hmm.
than the 30, maybe 40, 50,000 cases a day.
Hmm.
Uh, this is all modulo the assumption that restrictions or other things are not imposed,
Hmm.
because lockdowns imposed will tend to bring down the peak value slightly at the
Hmm.
cost of extending the wave.
Hmm.
So assuming that doesn't happen, then we should peak out at this number by middle of Jan.
All right. As you said, that lockdowns have been imposed in certain parts of the country, especially the metro cities and the states this time around are very hesitant to call it a lockdown. They are especially going into a night curfew or Section 144 in the daytime. That is what they are doing, and they are quite skeptical of going into a complete lockdown this time around. So, looking at this fact that there is no lockdown in any part of the country as of now, what do you think? Will this wave be manageable?
Well, it so far the signs are yes, because if you see Mumbai and Delhi have very large number of cases, and the information from both the cities show that hospital beds are not getting overcrowded. There are still a lot of beds available. In fact, the oxygen requirement is much less this time.
Hmm.
So all this, what it points to, and for obvious reasons also, because a lot of us are been vaccinated or have been immune due to
Hmm.
previous infections. So for such people, even if they get infected, the effect is mild,
Hmm.
and therefore they would not require any serious attention.
Hmm.
Nearly all of them. There may be exceptions, of course.
Hmm.
So due to that, what we are seeing this time is a much lower load on hospital infrastructure, and this is likely to continue.
All right. Sir, again, in terms of number, I mean, does the model also predict the number of availability of beds, how much availability of beds will be there, or how much demand requirement for the hospital beds will be there if the cases
Yeah, so
peak?
we estimate requirements of beds uh, for India-wide. again, our estimates will be off because of the inability to predict the peak correctly. But maximum requirement for beds is 1.5 to 2 lakh beds, which
Across
is
India.
well across India, which is well or much less than the actual capacity that exists today. While this may be true overall, there may be still pockets where the availability is less and requirement is more. So such local variations could be possible, but overall, I don't see a crisis on the beds this time. Similarly, Delhi, Mumbai, our estimates are like 15 or 1,000 beds at the max, and both the cities have enough capacity to handle it.
So if I could just ask, how does this mathematical model actually works?
Okay, it works based on a very simple principle that if an infected person comes into contact with an uninfected person, there is a certain chance that the person may pass on infection. And the more infected persons there are, more infections will get created. More uninfected persons there are, more infections will get created. And just using this simple idea, it creates a mathematical set of equations which govern how the pandemic evolves. And then we have brought our own certain innovations into this, which to measure the detection ratio, that is, because in COVID we have seen a large number of cases go undetected. So what is that number? So we create a parameter called detection ratio, which is the detected cases divided by total cases, and we are able to estimate this value also, which allows us to estimate total number of infections. And another one is the reach parameter, which kind of tracks what percentage of population is under the influence of pandemic. So that's also a very useful one. And based on these parameters and equations, we feed in the data, daily new infections data that comes in, and the model is able to compute the parameter estimates as well as what the future may look like.
So the mathematical model also predicted the second wave in the country last year, and we also saw that last year particularly a lot of people were blaming the second wave, the arrival of the second wave, on the large number of gatherings that happened in the country, especially in the poll-bound states in West Bengal and other parts of the country where polls were scheduled. This time around as well, while this third wave is actually kind of coinciding, I will not say coinciding because it is happening well before the date of elections, but yes, the rallies were being conducted until yesterday, and the Election Commission has now announced that till 15th of January there will be no physical rallies to be held. Do you think that this will prevent crowds, and do you think that the rallies should be stopped so as to prevent the infections?
So the answer is a little complicated. It's very important to not arrive at a conclusion about whether elections have caused a lot of spread or not without properly analyzing the data. We have looked at the second wave where 5 states went to elections and compared it with the 11 other states that did not go to elections. And we have observed that the way the pandemic spread in both these groups was more or less the same. Statistically, we did not find any difference in the way it has spread. So what that suggests is a conclusion that elections on their own are not the determining factor in the spread. They are one of the factors. There are many other factors. But if you just remove the election factor and expect that suddenly the numbers will stop spreading, that's not true. There are so many other factors, indoor gatherings being a very prominent ones, people crowding places and so on, which keeps on happening. And those are also very major factors which have which influence the spread of the pandemic. So expecting just that stopping election rally will somehow stop the spread of the pandemic is not going to happen. Sorry.
All right. So once again, my last question is, as we are moving towards the peak of the pandemic, when exactly do you think, could you put a date on it? When exactly could we arrive at a point where the cases will peak?
Yes, I think I mentioned earlier, sometime the last week of January is our estimate for India-wide peak. Different states, different cities will peak at different times, but overall India-wide peak would be somewhere around end of January. This is our current estimate. But like I said, with some more days data, we will feel more confident in our estimates for India.
All right. Thank you so much, sir, for this information. And as you rightly said, the second wave, we actually saw cases peak. This time around, we have a lot more cases than the peak of the second wave, while the wave is still going towards the peak. But this time around, as the mathematical model predicts, there could be a lesser requirement for the hospital beds, and the third wave could be very well manageable. Thank you so much, sir, for all this information. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you. It was a pleasure.